So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Runde Let's Play Zero Escape, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Und ja, wir haben jetzt die First Class Cabin hinter uns. Und danach habe ich ja wieder mal beendet. Eigentlich verständlich, möchte ich mal behaupten, weil Escape Room und alles, und so mache ich es ja momentan gerade die ganze Zeit. Wundert euch gerade nicht über das Geräusch, ich muss kurz was wegstellen. Also, machen wir weiter, wo wir aufgehört haben. He came out of the door and into a long, straight hallway.
Another hallway?
He paused for a moment, then turned around to look behind him.
That should do it.
Seven was bent over, apparently doing something to the door.
What's he up to?
Junpei had spoke more or less to himself, but apparently Seven had heard anyway. The larger man stood up and turned to Junpei.
I was just putting one of those plates in there. It ought to keep the door from locking again. Now we can come back here anytime we want, right?
Ah, why would you want to come back here?
Snake was a reasonable one. Ich muss erstmal mich wieder ein bisschen einlesen, Entschuldigung. Snake was a reasonable one. Seven thought about it for a moment before he answered.
I might like to play a little piano.
Piano?
Come on, let's get moving. We aren't out of this yet.
Without waiting for an answer, Seven started down the hallway.
Well then?
Ich habe bisher, glaube ich, keinen Satz richtig auf die Reihe gekriegt, Entschuldigung. Snake shrugged, sighed and quietly followed Seven. Ja, ich schaff's doch! Ist zum Glück gerade keine dramatische Situation. That's a lie, Junpei thought to himself.
Can't say I could ever imagine Seven playing the piano. He couldn't use the piano in there anyway. The keyboard's a mess. But why would he want to leave the door unlocked then? I have no clue.
Hey, wait for me!
Junpei frowned, took one last look at the door, and then walked away toward his companions. After some time in the hallway, they emerged into a larger, more open area.
Whoa, a metal grate?
A large metal grate, like the door of a jail, divided it in half.
Why is this thing...
They shook it for a while, but as they had expected, it did not move.
Figures.
Are those elevators over there?
Ich möchte kurz sagen, wir haben eigentlich diesen Bereich ja schon mal gesehen, nur aus einer etwas anderen Gruppenkonstellation. Und Seven scheint eigentlich immer der Typ zu sein, der sagt, lieber behalten wir mal die Türen in unserem Rücken offen, kann ja nicht schaden. Aber ja, wir sehen wieder die Aufzüge.
No way to know if they're working or not from here.
Oh, there's a door just to the left of this grate.
Unfortunately, however, it was locked and refused to open.
Sounds like it's locked.
Yep.
Junpei took a moment to examine the left side of the room.
Stairs leading down.
Da hat mir das Spiel irgendwie keine Zeit gelassen, das weiter vorzulesen, Entschuldigung.
They're blocked by the grate, though.
But this here seems accessible.
Ich glaube, ich habe gerade das... ich muss mal kurz an meinem Mikro einen kleinen Lautstärkeregler für meine Ohren ein bisschen, weil das Ding hat auch einen Kopfhörerausgang und sowas. Und deshalb muss ich es kurz ein bisschen leiser stellen, habe ich das Gefühl. So müsste besser sein. Entschuldigung, falls ihr da irgendwie ein komisches Geräusch gehört habt. Weiter.
So we can open it?
Nah, I think it's locked too. Look.
In the center of the door was a small keyhole. Next to the keyhole, a small symbol had been carved into the metal.
What's this mark? The female symbol.
He wasn't quite sure what to make of it. Snake, naturally, was somewhat more sure.
Ah, the Venus symbol, I imagine. Do you recall the similar symbols near the large central stairway? They reference many of the solar bodies.
Oh, that's right. The Sun, Saturn, and Earth.
So, as you can see, that one is likely.
Not the woman symbol, but a Venus symbol.
Ja gut, das ist genau dasselbe Symbol, ähnlich wie bei Mars und männlich. Naja.
So I assume.
Hold on. Where's Seven?
While they had been discussing the symbols, Junpei now realized Seven had slipped away. His absence now felt Snake and Junpei...
There he is,
Nochmal.
down that hallway.
Schon wieder lässt mir das Spiel nicht die Zeit, das vorzulesen. His absence now felt, Snake and Junpei turned to look for their missing companion. Seven had left them to head down the hallway, extending to the right side of the stairs.
This way, Snake. Follow me.
Junpei grabbed Snake to lead him in the right direction, and they both headed off after Seven. Before long, the three of them stood in front of a door.
I wonder if this door will...
It was a French
How
door.
about that? It opens.
Junpei tested the door and realized that, unlike so many others that they had counted, it was unlocked. Almost as though he was afraid it would... Almost as though he was afraid it would suddenly lock itself, Junpei threw the door open. He stepped inside.
Oh, wow.
It took only a moment for Junpei to take in his new surroundings.
Is this some kind of casino?
Sure looks like one.
Before Junpei could comment further, a noise from behind made him turn around. Snake was shaking the door that just come through.
Well, this is troubling.
As Seven and Junpei watched, he threw up his hands in frustration and then kicked the door for good measure.
It seems we are once again locked in.
There was no reason to panic, however.
Even if that door was open, it's not like we had anywhere to go that way.
So we must find another exit then.
Alright guys, let's split up and search this room. Come on, no dawdling, let's go. Quickly now.
Spurred to action by Seven's words, Junpei and Snake began to examine the room. Jo, jetzt sind wir im Casino. Ich muss zugeben, an den Raum erinnere ich mich gar nicht mehr so gut, aber ich werde es schon irgendwie wieder hinkriegen. Also, schauen wir uns um. Oh, hier liegt eine Karte. Hey Junpei, isn't that a card sitting on the table there? This feeling. It seems to be a playing card. Ja, die Pik 5. The Five of Spades. There's nothing on the table anymore. Ja, man muss hier, glaube ich, so ein paar Spielkarten finden. Kann man hier sonst irgendwie was ansehen? A square poker table. There's nothing on it. Ja, die Stühle kann ich mir nicht ansehen. Ah, jetzt hier. It's a chair. Yep, totally a chair. It feels like a chair. Nothing more, nothing less. Ja, das Spiel will mir wohl sagen, das ist ein Stuhl. Gut gemacht, Spieler. Super, danke. Ah, hier liegt wieder was. Hey Junpei, I just found this on the shelf. A playing card? Die Pik 4. The Four of Spades. Ja, muss ich eigentlich gar nicht vorlesen. Hier liegt noch eine. There's something on the counter. Looks like a card. A playing card. Pik 7. Well, will you look at that? Someone left a bottle of booze here. Don't mind if I do. Gloop, gloop, gloop. Ah. Oh, that hits the spot. Feels like my throat's burning. Damn, he really drank it. We don't even know how long it's been here. Gibt's sonst noch irgendwas hier? The count is pretty well polished. There's a whole lot of glasses on that shelf. Doesn't look like there's anything else back there though. Ja, ich schaue jetzt mal die Kronleuchter an oder was das ist. Those are some strange looking chandeliers. They look kind of like the UFOs from that movie, Michelle's Farm Tools. What the hell kind of movie is that? Ich weiß es auch nicht. Was haben wir hier? Oh, die Pik 3. Wow, this place is like super amazing. What's this place for? Probably for playing Baccarat. It looks a little off though. Yeah, look at the middle of the table. There's something mounted on it, see? Suddenly, Seven began to speak.
Ah, Baccarat. You ever played Junpei?
Junpei shook his head. He'd barely even heard of the game. Ich möchte kurz sagen, Baccarat ist ein, wenn ich mich recht erinnere, französisches Glücksspiel.
No, never.
Alright then, how about I explain the rules to you a bit? See, Baccarat is kind of an unusual game. You've got the banker and the player. The whole point is that you guess which one's gonna win. And whether the banker or the player wins, it all depends on their hands. The way each hand works is different from other games too. See, you take the number from the ones place after you add up the value of all your cards. Whoever gets the number closest to 9 wins. If your number is smaller than your opponent's, you lose. And that's it. That's the explanation. Got it? Well, actually, there's a lot more to it. Strategy, details, that sort of stuff.
Hat ein bisschen was von Blackjack eigentlich, dieses Spiel. Also du ziehst quasi Karten. Ich glaube, die Bildkarten zählen grundsätzlich als Nullen. Und dein Ziel ist es halt möglichst auf eine 9 zu kommen. Das heißt, wenn du zum Beispiel die Kombination König 9 hast oder sowas, dann kommst du auf genau die 9. Einer stellt es entsprechend 9. Wenn du aber zum Beispiel 9-3 hast, kommst du entsprechend auf insgesamt 12. Das heißt, deine Karte ist nur, dein Blatt ist nur 2 wert. Ist ein komisches Spiel.
But what I just told you sums up the core of the game pretty well. The single digit of the sum of all the cards you have. The strongest hand is a 9, and the weakest hand is a 0. You just ignore the number in the 10 spot. Do you get it?
Yeah.
He hadn't been asked for it, but Seven's explanation, rushed though it had been, was helpful.
Well, maybe half of it. Enough. I got a chance at winning the game if I played now.
However, we have no way of knowing if the puzzle in the Baccarat table makes use of those rules, and if it does, in what manner.
Then I guess we try everything.
Feeling more confident, if only slightly, Junpei approached the Baccarat table. Ja, wir können jetzt hier, glaube ich, Karten reinlegen, wenn wir da entsprechend das Gefühl haben, wir kommen dann vielleicht auf eine 19 oder sowas. Wir haben 7. 7 mit 5 kämen wir auf... Nee, das passt nicht. Nee, können wir im Moment noch nicht schaffen. Brauchen wir noch andere Karten für, wenn es noch weitere gibt. Check out that stained glass. How beautiful. What? Huh? Stained glass is colored pieces of glass placed together in a frame. As I've said many times before, I need only touch to know. I can at least discern the basic structure. Ja gut, das ist so ein bisschen... Ich weiß nicht, ob jemand von euch Avatar gesehen hat. Toffs Humor, glaube ich, so ein bisschen. Naja, was haben wir hier? Okay, das ist wohl die Tür, wo es rausgeht. Entschuldigung, Junpei. Damn it. This isn't exactly working out the way I expected. It's locked, isn't it? Is there a keyhole? If there is, I can't find it. Well, there must be some way to unlock it. Let's look around a little more, shall we? Diese Ausdrucksweise von Snake. Was haben wir hier? Lock. It says lock. It says 9. Yeah, it looks like that cover's hiding something. If this is the cover, then maybe it opens up. Probably does. Wir brauchen hier die Karte 8, um auf die 9 zu kommen. So einfach ist dieses Rätsel. Was haben wir noch hier? Kleine Spielautomaten. The plate says 3. The slot machine looks pretty old-fashioned. There's no rust though, so I guess it probably still works. Ja, ich kann leider keine Knöpfe drücken oder so. It's the coin slot. Ja, mehr kann ich nicht angucken. Ich brauche also erstmal Münzen. Ah, was haben wir hier? There's a weird looking thing floating in there. Da sagt er hier auch, kann man die anschalten, die Teile? Ah. Und zack. Wait, when those two lights turned on, I heard something from the bottom of the fireplace. What was that? I heard something down there. So, wir können hier sehen. Also, Kreuz, Karo, Herz. Und hier liegt eine Karte. There's something on top of the fireplace. Ah, die Pik 6. Gucken wir mal, was hier runtergefallen ist. Ein Beutel mit Münzen. There are a whole bunch of coins stuffed into this velour bag. Look at all these coins. Perhaps these coins will allow us to convince the machines to move. Gute Idee, Snake. Beginnen wir mal hier. This is the main body of the slot machine. I believe I felt a coin slot on the upper left corner. Junpei, why don't you try? Okay. Alright, let's put the coins from that back in here. What happened? I heard an odd noise. Well, to be honest, I don't know. I pressed some of the buttons and smacked the machine once or twice, but nothing happened. Oh. Looks like the coins got stuck. Oh dear. Probieren wir es mal hier mit der 2. Alright, let's drop this coin in the coin slot. Come on, you little bastards, I only need one of you. Ah, Moment, die Reihenfolge. Wir hatten Karo, Kreuz, Herz, wenn ich mich recht erinnere. Also Spin. Aha! 777. Yes! 777. And I think I hear something unlocking in there. Impressive, Junpei. It would appear to be unlocked now. There is something akin to a drawer on the bottom part of this machine, yes? That is a pickup drawer for dividend. Dividend? Keine Ahnung. Probably the lock for the drawer got unlocked. Please open it, if you would. There's something inside. Ja, ich muss die einzeln anklicken. Okay. What is it? Is there something in there? Yeah, a playing card. And this? A key with a Venus symbol on it. Excellent, Junpei. Now we'll be able to open the gate. And then we just need to figure out how to get out of this room. Correct. Come on, Junpei, hurry up. And he's off. There was a playing card and a Venus key. Better put the key in my pocket for later. As for the card... Jetzt haben wir auch die Pick 2. Und wir haben jetzt allerdings auch keine Münzen mehr. Hier wäre die Münze auch wieder stecken geblieben, glaube ich. Jetzt müssen wir mal schauen, ob wir das hier mit den Karten lösen können. It's the Baccarat table. There's the glass case in the center of it. Ach, ich muss das Ding in der Mitte angucken. So, was haben wir denn für Karten? Wir müssen auf 9 kommen. Kann ich eine 19 machen? Nee, für die 7 bräuchte ich dann zweimal die 6, das klappt nicht. Ich muss also eine 9 formen. Also 2 plus 3 plus 4. Kein Problem. Hey 7, are we really supposed to play Baccarat? It's a Baccarat table. What the hell else would we do? Stop worrying about it. It's really simple. What's the opponent's hand? Well, there's an 8 in that glass case. Alright, then what's your opponent's number? If that's the case, what 3 cards do we need to get that number? 3 cards? There are a couple of indentations with white lines around them, right? Those mean we gotta put down 3 cards. So, place 3 cards here and defeat the opponent's 8. That's what I've gotta do, I guess. Yeah, I think so. Something tells me those aren't the only rules. Right, let's give it a shot. Before I start, I'd better make sure I've got the rules straight. There are 3 empty indentations. I just gotta pick a card and play it. I figure if I put them in the right spots, something ought to happen. Alright, let's give it a try. Also, ich nehme die 2, die 3 und die 4. Dann habe ich die 9. Hat geklappt. Alright, if I just put down these 3 cards... Yes, open for me. Great. You did it, Junpei. You think it's telling us to take the 8 card? Come on, let's grab it. Alright, let's take this card. Jetzt haben wir nämlich die Karte 8 und damit können wir dieses eigenartige Ding hier öffnen. So. There's the card slot. Looks like we need to put a playing card in here. Alright, let's give it a shot. Ja, ich nehme die 8 natürlich, weil was anderes ergibt für mich keinen Sinn, ansonsten kommen wir nicht auf die 9. And in you go. Hey, alright, it opened up. It seems we have another device contended with, yes? There are 3 slots in this one. Let's see. 3 slots for cards. And there's a 9 right below them. So that probably means we gotta make 9 with 3 cards we put in these slots, right? Just like what we did over at the Baccarat table. Right, let's give it a shot. Gucken wir mal, was wir noch für 3 Karten haben. 7, 6 und 5. Die anderen Karten sind weg. Addieren wir, kommen wir auf 18. Quersumme von 18 ist 9. Manchmal ist dieses Spiel so ein bisschen... Also in diesem Fall müssen wir nicht nach Baccarat-Regeln spielen, weil es gar nicht möglich ist. Wir müssen halt nur alle Karten gefunden haben. Alright, so I put all the cards we had left into the slots. What happens now? Is that... Yes, I did hear something from the exit. Excellent work, Junpei. Wonderful. It seems the exit is unlocked. Let's go. Jo, wir können gehen. Alright, let's go. Und damit haben wir diesen Escape Room hinter uns. Ich beende aber noch nicht direkt. Ich werde jetzt noch zu dem Punkt weitergehen, an dem schließlich die Handlungsstränge wieder konvergieren. Ich zeige das nochmal kurz. Hier landen wir gleich dann wieder hier und dann, ja, diesen kleinen Novel-Screen mache ich noch. Junpei and his companions ran out of the casino and into a large open room. A room, in fact, that they had been in once before. There was little to surprise them there. They already knew what the next step had to be.
This way.
The iron gate still stood in place, locked tight, blocking the stairway. And right in the center of it...
The keyhole with the Venus symbol. The Venus key should work here.
Wasting no time, he pulled it out and shoved it into the keyhole. He turned it. With the distinctive sound of metal on metal, he felt the lock click open.
It sounds like it did. All right, let's get this thing open.
No problem. Let me help with this one.
Junpei grabbed the handle on the left side and Seven took the handle on the right. On Junpei's signal, they both pushed and the gate creaked open.
It sounds as though you have opened it. We should be able to reach C deck now, I imagine.
Snake, are you gonna be all right? I mean, the stairs.
Please, do not do yourself the embarrassment of underestimating me. I would be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards.
Good to hear. Let's move.
So ein bisschen sehr von sich selbst eingenommen ist Snake ja schon. At Seven's words, they leapt onto the stairs and jogged quickly down them. In no time at all, they found themselves on C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
We should check the next deck down, just in case.
When he reached the water, he called back up to Snake and Seven.
Just what I thought. D-deck is completely underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The surface of the water below them was flat, like a mirror.
I'm just glad the water level hasn't changed much.
Back to the C deck then.
Now, how about we check out what's here?
They began searching around and taking stock of what was on C deck.
There are 2 elevators over there, which means it's probably the same upstairs.
There's a card reader between them. And another weird mark.
Hey, check it out. It's the symbol for Lotus.
What?
See? It's got the woman symbol, and then it's got the devil horns, right?
Yeah, I see it. No 2 ways about it. That was a pretty good one, kid.
Seven tousled Junpei's hair in what he likely thought to be a friendly manner. Junpei feared his neck might break, even though it was clear Seven had kept his strength in check. Merkt, So ganz schmerzlos kommt Junpei an diesem Punkt nie vorbei. Also entweder wird er von Lotus verprügelt oder kriegt also unfreiwillig von Seven eine mit.
Oh, whoa, would you watch it, man? Whew, that hurts. You're gonna break my neck.
What are you talking about? The human body ain't that weak. Maybe this'll toughen you up, huh?
If we were looking for a devil, we've got one right here.
Thankfully, Snake interrupted. After Junpei's observation, he'd gone over to examine the card reader.
This is a Mercury symbol. The marks you mistook for horns are a stylized version of the wings and staff of Hermes.
Wings and a staff. Huh. So then, she beats you with the staff until you die and go to heaven. Sounds like Lotus, all right.
Ja, der Humor ist eigentlich jetzt nicht so mein Fall, aber meinetwegen. Seven shook Junpei's head even more vigorously, and the younger man began to feel as though his brain was being jostled about inside of his skull.
Seven! Oh, that's too much! Oh, my head!
Junpei's stomach began churning uncomfortably.
Oh, I think I'm gonna puke.
Unless we can activate this device, I doubt the elevator will function.
In other words, we gotta find a key card with a Mercury symbol on it.
So I would assume.
Let's forget the elevators for right now. How about that hallway to the left?
Whoa, there's a bunch of doors.
There were a great many doors lining both sides of the hallway. They seemed to stretch on forever, and all three men suddenly felt very small.
Ah, shit. We're not gonna have enough time to check all these, are we?
Maybe we can come back here later. We should check out the other side. Let's head back.
To the right of the stairs, another hallway stretched out, reaching deep into the bowels of the ship.
To the right this time.
After a few moments of moving briskly down the hallway, they emerged into an area roughly the same size and shape as the one at the top of the stairs. On the left side of the room were 4 French doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them up, starting with the closest one there.
Okay, I'm on it.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
Huh, it isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found another unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
Jo. Na, war klar, dass man wieder hier landet. Muss man. He simply stood, unable to speak. Seven's eyes opened wide and his mouth gaped. After a few long moments, Seven at last managed to speak.
Hey, what is this place? It's so huge and empty.
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on Seven and Junpei. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than a pipe and thin mattresses.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
Is this a hospital? The harsh scent in the air is reminiscent of antiseptic solution.
I think so. There are shelves in the center of the room with medicine and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Hey, why is that door between 3 and 7 blank? Does that mean anything?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yeah, good idea.
The 3 of them threaded their way through the beds toward the back of the room. Upon reaching them, they proceeded to investigate each door in turn, but to no avail.
Yep, locked. Just like I thought.
Naturally. After all, there are rules to the nonary game, and to allow these doors to open easily would violate those rules. Unless we can authenticate ourselves with the red, the numbered doors will...
Whoa, whoa, check this out.
Suddenly Seven spoke up, interrupting Snake.
Look at the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember the red back at the main staircase? If there wasn't anyone in it, it said vacant on the little screen, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But this one,
There's nothing.
right? You think it's broken?
Only one way to find out.
No, nothing.
Junpei and the others put their hands on the panel, but nothing happened. The red refused to change. They tried pulling the lever and still nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red on door 8 that seemed to be malfunctioning.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
I didn't think all of them would be malfunctioning.
What does it mean?
They've got to be broken. Man, that bastard. I didn't think Zero was the kind of guy who'd screw around with something like this.
Whoa, whoa, Zero's been prepared for everything so far, and you're saying he's gonna make a mistake now?
Well, that's the only thing I can think of. This thing ain't working at all.
While Junpei and Seven talked, Snake busied himself with examining the red. After a time, he lowered his hands and spoke.
It seems as if some of the internal hardware has been removed.
Internal hardware?
That is what I said. Take a look at the underside of this red, if you please.
The bottom?
Junpei obliged and bent over to look at the underside of the device.
Huh, there's a thin slot here. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
The other two reds are the same. Something's been removed from all three of them.
I get it. So the reds aren't working because somebody pulled out their guts.
So I assume.
But why? And who? I mean, it really doesn't make sense.
I have no idea. Why on earth would I know something like that?
Just then, they heard the sound of a door opening.
Oh, what now?
The three of them turned and saw... Akane? Oh, no, Junpei thought it's...
June!
She stopped short, surprised to see them, and was very nearly bowled over by... and was very nearly bowled over by the rest of her companions who were coming through the door behind her.
Ace! Santa! Clover! And Lotus!
Guess everyone's here.
Junpei and Seven were, for the moment, at a loss for words.
What are you guys doing?
Why are you...
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. Sind wir eigentlich jetzt schon? Nee, wir sind noch nicht an dem Punkt. Kann vielleicht noch was Neues kommen. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no, the ninth man had died. But they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy. Junpei thought the joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive.
And that's what we know.
With that, Junpei finished his own explanation.
Well, This isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
What about that big hallway? Maybe there's somewhere in there we might be able to go.
No, there's nothing there. The 5 of us had a quick look. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
You mean all those doors are for hospital rooms?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
It had one of those solar system mark things on it.
It was the Jupiter symbol.
Jupiter.
I wonder what it means.
Confusion seemed to be the consensus.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
No one, not even Snake, appeared ready to offer an answer until Seven unexpectedly spoke up.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
Ja, das Gespräch kennen wir im Grunde schon. Ich weiß nicht, kann ich skippen? Nö.
The Gigantic?
Junpei looked at Seven, shocked both by his knowledge and the apparent identity of the prison. He was not the only one.
What is this gigantic?
Seven nodded to Lotus and began to speak.
The Gigantic. She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century.
Kann ich immer noch nicht verstehen.
Actually, the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gordain bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself. Which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Then, almost as if to save Seven from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away.
Oh, a bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. 12.
It's midnight.
Sind wir jetzt bei... Nee, immer noch nicht.
Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room.
They had been examining the room as they talked.
But we haven't found anything.
Right.
That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
Uh-huh.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Well, you already checked some of them out before you came here, right?
We each checked a single room, so 5 rooms in total.
All right then. That's 5 rooms we don't have to search. We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
Lotus did not seem excited by the prospect. Seven fidgeted nervously before responding.
Just maybe?
After some discussion, the 8 of them decided which rooms to begin with and in what order they would go. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. Immer noch nicht, das ist doch nicht wahr. Kommt noch irgendwas Neues?
Alright, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes!
They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
If, during their search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If this strategy failed, they'd return to discuss their options later.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right. Then let's do this.
The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However... Also jetzt ist, glaube ich, der Wechsel. From far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. Ja, na also, dann kann ich jetzt hier den Schnitt machen. Ich weiß, das Ende war sehr, sehr viel Wiederholung von der Zeitlinie, die wir quasi schon beim ersten Durchlauf hatten. Aber so läuft das hier halt leider. Und ja, wir haben jetzt noch 2 Entscheidungen, die wir treffen können, wo wir was anders machen können. Ich werde in der nächsten Folge entscheiden, was von den beiden ich anders mache, weil entweder können wir halt hier durch Tür 8 gehen, das hatten wir noch nicht, oder wir können hier durch Tür 1 gehen, hatten wir auch noch nicht. Hierfür müssen wir was Bestimmtes vorher erledigen, das werde ich aber auf jeden Fall als das vorletzte Ende machen, hat seine Gründe. Und hiernach erwartet uns auch wieder eins von 2 Enden. Was genau, werde ich nicht verraten, aber lasst doch mal Meinungen, Ideen etc. in den Kommentaren. Ihr habt sicher irgendwas Interessantes zum Besten zu geben. Bestimmt auch irgendwelche Theorien. Es ist sehr interessant. Wir wissen ja immer noch nicht, wer hat Snake getötet. Und es gibt ja auch andere Sachen. Wer zum Beispiel in einem Ende, in dem hier scheinen ja alle tot zu sein. Wer kann dann Junpei noch erstechen? Oder, ach nee, Quatsch. Ja, hier zum Beispiel auch. Moment. Oder fehlte da einer? Nee, Quatsch. Hier wird Junpei erstochen. Hier war es so, dass alle tot sind. Entschuldigung, falsches Ende. Also in einem Ende, alle sind tot, Junpei wird noch erstochen. Im anderen Ende, dann in beiden Enden, sieht man aber, dass Lotus das Armband geklaut wurde. Stellt sich die Frage, wer mit Lotus' Armband so viel anfangen kann. Mit 2 Armbändern alleine kannst du ja nichts machen. Also dem eigenen und dem von Lotus. Wenn das überhaupt einer von den Leuten war, denn im Submarine Ending sind sie ja alle tot. Es ist eine knifflige Sache. Werden wir vielleicht noch erfahren, wer das war? Eigentlich werden wir sogar relativ sicher erfahren, wer das war. Ich kenne ja die Geschichte. Also dann, ich hoffe, ihr habt Spaß. Das ist konstruktive Kritik. Däumchen nach oben, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Da Theorien, Meinungen zu bestimmten Charakteren, zu Handlungssträngen etc. Alles ab in die Kommentare. Ich bin da echt gespannt, was ihr da für Ideen nachher habt. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Cheerio!